In class the other day, we learned about a bunch of pH and pOH equations. We're just going to make sure that you have those down really well and then start to expand our knowledge by applying those to some word problems eventually. So we're going to summarize what you already know and grow from there. So you guys saw when we did our pH activity the other day that in order to solve for a pH or a pOH, you need to know either the H plus or the OH minus concentration. So just a little reminder, when you see brackets around a chemical like that, that's chemistry shorthand for saying the molarity of or the concentration of. Well, a lot of the concentrations, as you saw from that activity, are really small. And so there was a scientist named Soren Sorensen, I know, that came up with a new pH scale. And the P in pH stands for power. So he said, wouldn't it be convenient to express those really small concentrations in scientific notation? It would be a little bit easier on our eyes. pOH, same idea. It's just the power of your hydroxide ion instead of the power of your hydrogen ion. pH typically goes from 0 to 14. But it is possible to have a negative pH or a pH above 14. You just won't see any of those in our class. So a big complaint I get after people do the pH activity is they say, oh no, like logs were terrible in math class. I have no idea what a log is. I even took my log test and I just know it's a button on my calculator. So here's my quick 30-second explanation, maybe a minute, of what a log even means. So let me give you some math problems that you're a little more familiar with. So if I gave you the problem 10 times x equals 50, and I asked you to find x, you would divide both sides by 10 in order to get the x by itself, right? And so your 10 over 10 would cancel out. 50 over 10 simplifies to just 5. So the way you undo multiplication is by doing the opposite of it. You do division. If I gave you the problem 10 plus x and you had equals 50 and you had to find the value of x, you would subtract 10 from both sides because the opposite of addition is subtraction. So now if I gave you the problem 10 to the x power equals 50, now what would you do? You can't add, you can't subtract, you can't multiply, you can't divide. You're starting to run out of buttons on your calculator. Well, that's what a log is. When you ask your calculator to do log base 10 of 50, you're asking your calculator to tell you what number do I have to raise 10 to get the answer of 50. Logs are just a way of undoing solving for exponents, the way that subtraction is a way of undoing addition, or that division is a way of undoing multiplication. So if you did 10 to the first power, that would just be 10, right? 10 to the second power means 10 times 10, so that's 100. So do you see how we need an exponent somewhere in the middle of 1 and 2 if we want the answer to not be 10 or 100, but 50? And then when you put the log of 50 in your calculator, you get a number somewhere in the middle, 1.7.